We should be live now. I'm gonna check on setting up your meeting for custom streaming. Woo! Done redirecting. Okay, now I officially have the link. I hope it's the same one. If it's not, okay, save. Waiting for Pernell Bobby. Okay, and then I copy this, and then I send it to you, and then it should be the same one. Copy. Right. Go to chat. Yep, it's the same one. So if you check your chat, it's actually the same one.
Okay.
Yep. And then
waiting for you.
Exactly. So now I'm getting ready to actually press live.
Oh. Okay, cool.
Then we should be green light. Stream key cannot be. The stream can't be. Yo, you guys can suck my dick. Yeah, I don't think they're giving me.
No.
Viewers waiting. So there's 2 lives. I'm still trying. This part is it's really strange. There's 2 of them streaming right now. So this is what I now try to figure out. 1 second. So this one is live, which is of course not the one that I want. I'm curious if I do this, will it work? All right. Okay, so I'm currently live on this. Ida, can you also see me? Are you also on your on the YouTube live, the one that's currently streaming? Just out of curiosity, I should have it right here.
Yep.
I don't live. Nope, you're not in. This.
I got you now. I see you.
Wait, you can't see yourself though. No.
No.
Nope. So this is not the one that I want.
There's 2 people on the chat.
Yeah, I noticed. I'm gonna close that. That's not the one. Yeah,
no.
It's gonna be this other one that opened up.
The one that you're on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end this stream.
But you could hear me, right?
I can hear you because of Zoom, but this is, I just closed that one, which I had a feeling it might do. So I didn't get tricked on this one. We're gonna go here.
So I gotta close.
I'm gonna go edit. I knew this might happen. It happened to me before, but not this bad. It didn't happen this bad. I actually think this is primarily like a integration bug with YouTube and Zoom. I think they don't fully have their shit together.
Oh wow, there's actually 3 people on.
I know. I closed that other one. I closed that other live down because that won't show you and I won't be able to show your chart on the live that way.
Okay.
Yeah, which is really like, it would defeat the entire purpose.
True.
So I'm going to this live. Really annoying because that means it's been running live, but it's been on private. So no one can see it yet, but they will when I unlock it from private. Now you see why, like, when P Steeler's running his his things, why like all this, sometimes it'd be like saying like 4 p.m., but he don't come on till like 20 minutes later.
Oh yeah, I know.
This is why it's this background nonsense. And then we have to regroup and then spit the knowledge out.
Exactly.
At the last second, it's like regroup.
Yeah, because you're frozen right now on this side.
Yeah, I closed it. I canceled the whole entire live stream. Well, the other one that was running, it's annoying. I'm gonna save my breath for the moment and to finish this.
Yep, because I don't see, before I saw the chat, now I don't see the chat at all.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to. It's dead. I closed it. This doesn't. I hold my.
You'll be able to see the people on there, right? Who's there and who's not there.
One moment.
Mhm. Cancel.
All right. That. Let me put this. Plug that into there. All right, Ida. Here we go. T minus 40 seconds.
Okay, so I could click the same one, right?
No, I think it's gonna be different.
Okay.
And I'm gonna share it and save it with you.
Mm-hmm.
Public. Done. Yeah, it is different for sure. Okay, but I just press save and then come back to you. We should most definitely be
Here we go.
live at this point. I'm gonna send you the link now in the chat. Everybody else that's catching this live, welcome to a live astral therapy session. Whether you're watching this on replay or active.
What's
What's up? What do you say, Ida?
why is it so dark? So dark, you don't see nothing.
On whose side? Your side or my side?
Both sides. I'm not up there at all.
Yeah, I don't see myself on the live either. This could be because it was already running live. I see it now. Oh crap. There at all. So Yeah, I don't see myself in the live either. This could be because
Oh.
I think I was sharing the wrong. I think I was sharing the wrong screen because I can see myself playing with my hair at the top on this live. Yeah, it was. I see both of us now in this YouTube chat because it was this whole time it was on private, but it was running live in the background.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for the last it started 9 minutes ago, literally. So somebody will probably catch that 9-minute random blurb in the beginning. So
Hold on.
la 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 la. Is this a la 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 moment? Yep.
No.
Okay. Closing out all this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And I now know why, because I had my screen sharing, but it was down low.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's going on. So definitely anybody who is here now live, I'm just gonna one time, excuse me, send this link out to make sure that other people also have access. I did tell other people as well. Okay, boom, copy paste. Welcome, my name is Pernell Bobby. I'm your astrotherapist. I'm here live today with Ida, checking in out of Canada. I gave her the green light that she had the possibility to actually not share her screen, but she decided I'm gonna go ahead and be brave. So I'm like, let's do it. Ida, is there anything that you would ever just like to mention? Even I know it's not necessarily like required. I mean, if not, I'm gonna get into your chart. But is there anything you want to just kind of say as before we get into your actual chart itself?
I just want to say thank you so much for what you're doing for me. I really appreciate it. Taking the time out to do my chart.
1 second.
Yeah. Okay. It's on.
All right. Completely lost my phone, but whatever. We're gonna go with it.
Are you serious?
I'm like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? So that's just that.
These energies are screwing us apart. Screwing us apart today. I'm telling you, it's.
Yo, I kid you not. This is definitely one of those like. At this point, I submit. I told somebody else I was gonna show them. I was gonna send them the link, but it's too late. I literally can't find my phone, so that's whatever. All right.
Oh
So,
wow.
So here we go.
So
here we go. We are streaming live. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually pull up your chart. I'm going to pull up your chart, which I actually closed because life is loving to play games with me.
I could see this already. It's going to be one hell of a chat. That's for sure. Their energies are so strong for some reason.
Yeah, it's definitely. I kid you not. This is definitely one of the moments in my life that I can tell whoever is out there is one to test my patience, but they're gonna fail. Whoever's playing games with me, whoever's cursing me right now, they're gonna fail. I promise you.
Why would they do that? Or you know what? They could do it to me too. So who knows?
No, we're protected. I'm not worried.
No, I'm not worried either. But
bang, I got your chart back up. Bang. Okay, so now I can actually share screen on your chart.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
Where I want to begin is kind of just knock this 3 times. If you would like to just kind of open up your chest, this is kind of how I would like to start the reading, just to get our frequency back in check after this 23 minutes of disruption prior to the reading itself. I want to have you just soften your jaw. Okay. Any tension that you have in your teeth, just kind of start to let it go.
Yep.
You should imagine your ears starting to melt like ice in the summer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that sound.
Mm-hmm. Let the sound carry you as the frequency vibrates through the sky, through these waves. Go ahead and allow your jaw and your tension in your face to just melt. Let everything go. Your shoulders are getting heavy.
Yep.
Allow your eyes to get heavy. And the first question I want to ask you, Ida, is how would you like to feel by the time you walk out of this session today? More so a feeling, not necessarily a goal.
A feeling? Excited.
How would you like to feel?
Excited.
You want to feel excited? Okay. We can do that.
Yes. This is exciting.
We can do exciting. Have you ever had a reading before?
Nope.
Okay. So this is your chart. I know you've seen it.
Yeah.
I think I've made a couple introductions. The first things that I see, if I get away from the crazy jargon part, I think that this, a lot of times for the beginning or for beginners, I think this is a lot easier to look at, where you can start to see at least the zodiac signs, right?
Oh, yeah.
First things that stick out, there's 2 Leos and there's 2 Virgos. Okay, and then I see a 3rd Virgo. So I already basically see a stellium, which lets me know that Virgo in general will run the majority of your life, and Leo will kind of be next in line. Without getting into anything crazy, this is what this already tells me. If I scroll down, I see, another Virgo. So now I'm seeing your ascendant sign, your rising is in Virgo. Your part of fortune is in Virgo, okay? Another Virgo, that's 3, 4, 5. I did nothing left in your chart yet, but I noticed you have 5 signs, and of the hundreds and hundreds of charts that I've read, it's like, okay, that's probably the most Virgo I've seen in anybody's chart just for one person.
Wow, really?
But it's always so strange though. So it's like, I've seen other signs that had dominant, like Scorpio. I've never seen it personally for Virgo yet. But what this tells me is already that in your lifetime,
Oh, what happened?
and like, huh?
Go ahead, sorry.
No worries. So before I'm even moving forward, it already starts to tell me that, can you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you fine.
Okay. Just checking. It already starts to tell me, all right, in your lifetime, there's been a lot of analyzation. There's been a lot of, some people might try to simplify it and say overthinking, but it's really not that simple, all right? Here's why. So before we look at any of what planet means Virgo, blah, 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 houses, trines, freaking sextiles, none of that is really important, especially for you coming in as the guest, right? It's like you don't get a reading so that somebody can now speak professional astrology jargon with the expectation for you to try to understand that. It's more so my job today is to get you to that feeling and be that bridge of your excitement that you were asking for, the feeling you wanted to have, that curiosity that you wanted to just be intrigued, okay, and indulged. And so the main engine behind Virgo, considering you have 5 Virgos up front, is to think of it less like overthinking, less like overanalyzing. You've heard that your whole life, okay? Even before astrology came in, you've already heard that. The real engine of a Virgo is primarily geared towards one keyword: improvement. Now, this starts to change the entire frame, okay? when it's misunderstood, it's overthinking, it's analyzation to an excessive extent, OCD. But this is too simplified.
Mm-hmm.
And to make it more complicated, which is ironically simplifying it, the one key word behind a Virgo, its main engine is to improve.
Right.
Constant, daily improvement.
Oh, yeah.
But incremental. It's so like I'm in Aries and it's like I want to hit everything in one bout. But I may leave everything else out. So it's like I got a target. I'm going to put all my firepower on that target. And I'm going to hit it with everything I got. Virgo is more like, what amount of energy do I have today? And what resources can I pull out to make sure that I cover all of the daily habits, all the mundane parts of existence? You know what I'm saying? So it's trying to think in the same day. It's trying to think laundry, dishes, work schedule. Okay. Did you brush your teeth? It's thinking.
That's me to the T.
See what I'm saying? Okay, children come to work. Children go to school at 6 a.m. All right, I need to be ready by 4 p.m. I have a 3-hour gap in between, 1 hour for lunch, 30 minutes here. So it's this is the overthinking part. But if it's confused with just overthinking to just drive itself crazy, then we kind of start getting ourselves out of balance. All right. So this kind of starts to take the pressure off. Because now it's like without Virgo, without the small details realized in life, we would all fall apart. So if I put one main word on Virgo, which is improvements, here's one sentence.
Wow. Virgo
is designed to bring order to chaos, period. This is one sentence to the Virgo now. One word is improvement. One sentence is to bring order to chaos. Period. So we have to understand that Virgo is a mutable sign.
Oh, yeah.
Which means it likes to change, it needs to change, but it's still Earth. So it's like moving Earth, right? The other two Earth signs are kind of like, this is it, I'm unflexible. Right? Virgo's kind of like, this is it, but I'm very flexible, even though I'm not. I'm very flexible within my critique, within how I decide to criticize X, Y, and Z. What I think is going to be the most efficient way to improve my day, my daily habits, my body. How can I basically critique my own body, especially when you have it in the first house, which is the house of self. This is yourself. So this tells me now that critiquing yourself, all right, with the Virgo ascendant, the moon, Mercury, right? Critiquing yourself could easily have caused you a lot of mental, more so a lot of emotional confusion if you didn't communicate it, right? Because the 15th degree is a degree of Gemini now, which says to me, communication, adaptability, right? Taking in the dark and the light of the situation, not really trying to look at things in one way. So you're going to see your body like that. The communication, the language you use is looking at your body as what is the good and the bad of this? What's the dark and the light of this? What is the duality of how I am improving myself, my body, which helps my mental health, okay? If you don't communicate this and you only keep it what I see right now in your private life of what happens on the day-to-day, 6th degree, another degree of Virgo, okay, so you have like double energy on Virgo. It's like authentic type Virgo energy, literally. It's like being in an embodiment, the self. First house is the self, being your mind, which is Mercury now, okay, right here. Your mind can intellectually process your private life, which is the moon, and what you need on an emotional level. So this is telling me that your mind is saying, here are these daily things that I need at a bare minimum, and what I need to keep improving, Virgo, in order for me to feel adaptable in my own emotional world and always improving my defense mechanisms in
Mm-hmm.
my own time, in my private time, in my time away from the world. I'm focused on improving even how I defend myself.
Always.
Literally, because you'll have an interaction by talking 15th degree Gemini to someone else. You have an interaction, and they will basically reflect back to you, oh, wow, I would like to improve this part about my body now, today. I would like to improve this part about my routine and my habits today because of what I just heard or communicate with somebody else, not looking for solutions, but the random chatter just started to give me solutions.
Right.
And then Virgo decides, okay, now I have a new set of chaos because I didn't know this 1 hour ago, and now it's in my mind. So now this random piece of information, I want to bring order to the chaos of that information. I want to start processing, how can I implement this into my body, into myself, into my personality? Yeah. And I pause for a minute in case you have any feedback from there that you would like to share before I move into a different part or the next part of your chart.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, no, it's to the T. That's me to the T. What you described, you know, and I'm also a perfectionist too.
Well,
That's a Virgo too. Obviously.
Yep. Now, understand with the perfectionism, it's kind of what I was saying a little bit earlier. It's oversimplifying in astrology to call Virgo the perfectionist. Now, Virgo is only a perfectionist when it's becoming neurotic. Now, so the thing is, it processes so fast that the perfectionism is actually more of the mental illness called neuroticism.
Just trying to call me in.
No worries.
Somebody was just trying to call me in. Sorry.
No worries. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah, so just understand that part, because it can become that definition is very mainstream astrology, and it confuses people because, mind you, like our thoughts, those thoughts become beliefs, those beliefs become physical manifestations, right? So if you literally believe that perfection is, it actually helps to produce neuroticism, like literally becoming neurotic, which is actually defined as a mental illness. So I always try to freeze Virgos when they say perfectionist, because it's not really from what I believe personally, it's not really what you believe, it's what you've heard so much.
Yes.
Because remember, like I said, that communication, you take it in, you hear other people say, yeah, Virgos are perfectionists. So you go, all right, how can I improve this? How can I bring organization to the perfectionist chaos?
Oh, yeah.
But this is why I said the main engine in the beginning, Virgo, is focused primarily on one word. What was that? Improvement.
Improvement. Always improvement. Always. It doesn't matter in what area of my life, I'm always improving it, in my family life, in my love life, in my career. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm always improving it. Yeah. Right. Not to prove to others, but to prove to myself.
Exactly, because you're in the first house.
Exactly. It's always to myself, you know, and I find it so difficult, especially with family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the family life and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's dive into the chart then. Let's try to see.
Yeah, go ahead.
How can we then navigate?
Oh, I have questions. I have questions for you. Trust me.
Oh yeah. So let's try to see why the family might seem to have such an influence. All right.
Okay.
So the base of family would classically be fourth house, right? So I'll first look at fourth house, right?
Right.
That's the actual family. And I'm going to break something down to you about the second house, which is also important. So the fourth house is currently in Neptune. So what this tells me, the first thought I have when I see Neptune is mistakes.
Okay.
So it's mistakes because Neptune is dreamy, it's idealistic, which means that it's subjective in its feelings. It's not really based in reality. It's what allows us to connect to spirit. It's what allows us to connect to spirituality because it's not tangible, right? It's not a, it's like a gas. It's not really a physical reality. It's a gas. So it can be poked, right? So this one truth at this moment, it looks like a truth, but you can literally poke right through it and realize, wow, that wasn't there. Like what I thought was there, it's just not there. So with that now being in the fourth house, this tells me that there's going to be mistakes about how you, okay, perceive, which is Sagittarius. Sagittarius perception. It's
right.
It's considered I see, but not with the physical eyes. It's I see spirit and beyond. Okay, it's I see the meaning behind the meaning.
Right.
So it's interesting because it's in Sag, it kind of gives a little bit of a different superpower than most other zodiacs here because it can see beyond what is it can see more in an abstract manner. So it can see a gas and perceive it and perceive through it. I want to say it can perceive through the gas. Now, on the opposite weird side is it's Sagittarius is also self-righteous. So even though it has to check its ego, where it could be very self-righteous. It could think, well, I know what I know, so it can't be any different. So it's ironic because these are going to be the mistakes that you will make about family, especially at the 0 degree. It puts you pretty much 0 means like you're a Sag in this area. It's like you're a Sag. So the self-righteous piece, what I was saying about the views, the perception you have of your family, you could be personally making mistakes.
Wow. That's very.
Yeah. I paused there. Like you could be making mistakes about what you think it is versus what it really is. Now, that would then bring me to, okay, I would then look at this to see, all right, if you see this Neptune, where we're coming from, you see a lot of red lines. You see red, right? From starting from here. Red is now meaning some kind of contrast, some kind of difficulty that has room for improvement, or more so, it's a challenge that can turn into an opportunity. But you have to overcome the challenge behind the perception you have of family. Especially what I want to say is if you have a self-righteous viewpoint, like you think this, but it's you. Like you think this, right? Not necessarily making it true. Because again, when you put Neptune anywhere, it can idealize your own belief.
Right.
Which can separate you from what is the actual truth. Because it's very passionate, it's very enthusiastic, and it's optimistic. So it's thinking to itself, hey, look, I'm optimistic about these things. So that'll support the self-righteousness because it's optimistic. It's like, look, I want to have the best possible view of this. So I'd rather see the family in the best possible light.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? So you always want to see it that way. But there's going to be some mistakes within the logic of all of it.
Oh, of course.
Because there's that abstract Neptunian factor where it's a gas. So even if it looks exactly like this,
makes sense.
Poke through it. Now this lets me know what areas now are we poking through. So what we're okay. All right. So this is big because it's squaring your sun and your Venus. So it's squaring the attachments that you have to basically a lack of surrender. The reason why I say a lack of surrender is because Leo is very strong. It's fixed in its opinions, fixed in its energy, right? So it's very much like what I say is rule, right?
Yeah.
I say is rule, especially, and this is linked, this is the 28th degree. So this is linked to the relationship that you've had with your mother. Is your mother?
My mother's a Leo. God bless her. She passed away 2 years ago.
This is what I was gonna say. 12th house. She's gone.
Yeah, she's gone. Yeah.
How old are you?
Me?
Or
I'm 50. I'm 50 right now.
okay. And I asked because this basically says this is kind of in the later years of your life. 28 is like near the end. 30 is kind of 29 is like the last degree before it goes to 30. So when you put in 12th house, this is where someone can be absent, right? Was your mother like the lead in the
My mom, yeah, my mom was a Leo. She was born August the 3rd, 47.
But was she like the leader? Was she the powerhouse in the family?
Yes.
Okay. So that's because Leo, okay, powerhouse,
Yeah.
the mother, all right?
Yeah.
Now, with the 12, it means like there's some isolation and some surrender that's required about the mother, especially because it's squaring the family, which is now in Neptune. Some of the opportunities for growth through the challenge, let's say, of your mother's death is by relieving. You might have really adopted and absorbed, like a chameleon almost, some of the power that your mother had.
Yes.
Right? That's what this tells me. And what it does is it's skewing the perception of the rest of the family.
Yeah.
This is what it's doing. And we never necessarily discovered what is the perception you have of your family. But what I'm telling you is like, you can like take that piece for yourself of, okay, well, Ida, if I'm Ida for a second, I'm like, all right, Ida, like if I was to relinquish the power, if I was to relinquish the control of the perception I have of my family by accepting the challenge that I've had to go through in the last 2 years with either your mother herself or probably more likely the vacuum that your mother would have created in the family dynamic. Okay, that and some part of that would have. 12th house is a very absorbent house. It has energy that can just like a chameleon. It can just. It depends on how you sacrifice that power, how you sacrifice that control, how you sacrifice your fixed perception. Okay, if you surrender, you basically can. You can, like a queen, okay, because Leo is the queen. You can, like a queen, earn the loyalty and the trust of your people. Let's say your family. You can earn it because there's two types of queens when I think Leo, right? There's the queen who just says, well, bitches, because I'm in control, because I have the power, kneel. Bring me my feast. Run my bathwater. Do what I say do. You have that.
No, that's not me. No.
I
cater to them.
I don't imagine so. I don't imagine that. It's more for a learning purpose, right? So that's one type of Leo. That's one type of Leo.
No, I'm the other one.
And then you have the other Leo who earns the respect of the people by being charitable, by being
that's me.
Okay, by basically bringing light to dark situations. Okay.
Yep.
And
I cater to them. I cater to everybody. I cater to my son. I cater to my family. I cater to, to all my loved ones, my man and everything. You know what I mean? That's who I am. That's in my nature, right? To nurture, to care, to,
Absolutely. And here's the magic. That's where having 5 Virgo placements.
Yeah.
It dims that Leo desire for control. I don't want to say desire for control because Virgo is controlling, but in a different way. Okay?
No, see,
they're very different. They're very different.
No, I'm not controlling. No, of myself. Yes, I control everything I do. My work, my house, my love, my
yes. The first house.
Yeah,
it's yourself. That's the Virgo control.
That's right. But for other people, no.
No, I don't see that at all. But the Virgo, what the Virgo is doing is it's helping you, because Virgo's primary desire is to serve
Exactly.
others,
That's right.
right?
And that's so me to the T. That's crazy.
Yeah,
But
it's to
truth.
serve
It's
others.
the truth. It's the truth.
Now, if I go
See,
back
but
into
the,
the
but
chart,
the difference is this.
yep. What you say? I lost you. I got you back. I got you back.
Okay, go ahead.
What did you say? You said the difference is what?
Go ahead.
What did you say? You said the difference is what?
Sorry, I got sidetracked.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I'm gonna keep getting to the chart then. I'm gonna go back into the chart.
Okay, go ahead.
Before I do,
Yeah.
let the sound carry you again. Just you and I. Okay. Now, there was another point on the chart. There was another piece of contrast, if you will, from that illusion. All right, and it comes into the challenge that you face to speak up publicly.
My MC.
No, Gemini, Saturn and Gemini on the 10th house. Because you notice this red line goes directly to that illusion and basically the base of family and the perception we're talking about. So on one end, it went to Leo, but on the other end, in opposition, if you will, it goes to the public image, which is just 10, what your reputation is, and how you communicate and what language you use, which is not just words, but body language, which will probably be really the key piece I see on that piece. And your strength with the body language would be having a very balanced in your family, because this is what I wanted to share before. This is a good harmonious aspect. The base of family, before you get to the 4, the base of family is in the 2. All right, because this is when we start to get stable. This is when we start to get food, money, resources that make us feel the base levels of security that's required in the family. So now this tells me Uranus being there means that there will be some upheavals, there'll be some shifts when it comes to your personal resources and stuff like that. But it has a harmonious aspect to, you know, how when things switch up and change, okay, at the base levels, like of like even like self-worth, like you're willing to bring justice to how you value yourself, but it's going to come at some potential abrupt changes, but you're going to know how to really, you're going to know how to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to be able to easily on the public stage, like how people see publicly, you're going to easily be able to kind of get back balanced again. Even though there will be some rumbles, potentially even in your one-on-one relationship. So this could be like you and I, like this is a one-on-one relationship that we're having right now on this call, right? So it's like there could be some rumbles, but you know how to bring it back. You know how to like, kind of like what just happened, right? So right now we're publicly showing up on YouTube, right? And it's like, hold up, time out, bring the balance in, and Libra, which is right here, Libra, that self-worth space and the resources, it's like, it knows how to push forward. It's a cardinal sign. So it's like, okay, here's where you're good at. This is something you may overlook how good you are at publicly. What degree is that on Saturn? 5th house. Fun, expression, creative expression, creative projects, romance, competition. All those words, those keywords I said, those are like different things that over time you've learned to basically master that on the public stage as a part of your reputation, like being adaptable even in how you compete in a way that may not necessarily be head on, right? It's not necessarily fully confrontational. It might be more so like the wind of like, look, any crack, I'm gonna find it. You're really good at that. This blue line is like showing how good you are at this, and especially when it comes to your work and how you top down, this is Aquarius now, you know, how you from the bottom up, this is Aquarius, build progressively the structure, the plan on how to potentially use technology to improve your body. Okay, this kind of goes back to your Virgo being in the ascendant, how to improve, like this would be like you doing research, literally. Like some kind of disruption happened with Uranus and it kind of broke up certain patterns that was going through like a revolution when it comes to your self-worth. It's like, look, boom, something happened, whatever that is, shook your self-worth, shook your sense of security. But you know how in those moments to basically use technology, okay, which is for like the internet, where's Aquarius for you? Yep, to go through your brand new self. Boom, 13th degree. This is Aries, the degree of Aries, which is the self. So it's like when those moments happen, you know how Aquarius, to take an objective viewpoint and have your actions, you actually know how, and not everybody does, you know how to act on the objective plan that you know, literally, I know as Aquarius, that you know makes clear sense without your emotions being and taking over the situation. Like right. You'll have the emotions, but you can witness them. You can like literally like witness, okay, these are the emotions that are rising, but your actions will be able to separate and say, okay, this is what I witnessed. This is what I'm emotionally feeling. I can even see the pettiness in me, but I also see the higher road in a sense. I also see how to basically go ahead and do the research of wherever this thing led me. You just knew how to use technology or astrology, because Aquarius is astrology, how to use that or handle any kind of abrupt and lightning fast change or shift that brought more chaos. You know exactly where to look and how to plan and how to act in a sustainable way. Literally, it's like sustainable, not you know, you're able to like you can when you set it, it's like, all right, you can even get obsessive on that version of improvement. Or that version of like improving whatever needed to be organized, whatever needed discipline, whatever needed anything Saturn like, whatever needed to mature. Okay, you can see this with a very objective mind, like a witness consciousness, like literally able to witness what is happening in real time, and you can process it very fast, which also creates an engine for you because it's in the 6th house. It creates an engine for you that says, I got to improve this about myself, because 6th house is Virgo's house. So a lot of that energy gets directed right back to yourself, which then brings you back. All right, I'm going to show you this again. Back to the next. Oh, even though there's no relation that it says. So this blue connects to this blue. That's kind of like the streamline. So if I try to like shorten that publicly, part of your challenge is to accept when you might need to just not be so Gemini, not be so shifty publicly, like not be, in certain instances, not be nice, honestly. Like Gemini can be nice if it knows it's gonna be able to get through. I would say for you, because at the 5th degree, certain arguments in a romance, okay, in your romantic life, it's important for you to recognize when are you just being nice, because it's gonna help you to avoid the problem that you already saw before the other person saw it. Like, I don't know if you have a partner or not, but you know how to.
Okay, yeah.
That makes sense. Like, you know how to get over.
No, it does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Totally makes sense.
with this being Saturn, what it says is like throughout your lifetime, probably when you're first 29 to 33, this would have been a bigger challenge. But you know what I'm saying? Like around that age, that was your Saturn return. That would have been a bigger challenge back then.
Oh yeah. When was my Saturn return?
29 years old, and your next
29.
58.
Okay, 29.
58 years old is your next one.
Yes. Oh yeah, at 29, that was I was going through a lot at that age.
Yeah. And on top of that, whatever you might have been creatively doing too, I want you to consider that. Like you might have had a certain, because it's gonna happen again at 58. All right.
Yeah.
Which is approaching whenever it does, and so keep this in mind as it does. You're gonna be challenged to have fun at 58, like to just get out there and just show yourself. Good.
I'm doing it now. Yes, definitely.
So look at the prime example, right? Because you're doing what? Gemini is social media. What are you doing?
Yes.
Literally, what are you doing?
That's what I want to do. Yeah.
You said I'm sorry, how old you said you were now?
I'm 50.
50. Okay, boom. So in the next 5 years to 8, basically, 8 really being the real start, but 5 more years it'll start having like, you'll start noticing shifts. But in 8, it'll be like, okay, challenge is here, but you're already noted. You know it's there. So
right.
Now using social media to publicly show your creative talents. Okay, what are your skills? What are your abilities that you've researched, basically like a bunch of surface information about, to figure out what you like, what are your skills, especially any skills with your hand. Let's say something like playing an instrument, or you're gonna start wanting to publicly show up, and you got a lot of support to do that for your work, for your daily work. You have a lot of support to do that if you basically can discipline the plan. Okay, but the plan has to be progressive because Aquarius is there. And if you notice, this is your, okay, wow, look at this. With these two planets being in retrograde, Mars and your North Node in Aquarius, aka for work, this is your work life. It says that plan, to be able to act on that objective plan, it would have naturally taken you a little bit longer to show up publicly, coming out of the shadows and sharing that Leo light. This is why it took you a little longer. I don't even know if it did or not, but this is what the chart's telling me.
Okay.
The chart's telling me that your work and all the improvements that you've made pretty much in the shadows, okay? Because Aquarius is the furthest thing away from the sun. So without the sun, it's like, look, space is dark. Aquarius is in darkness. It's a loner. It's literally by itself. Even though its work, which is 6th house for you, is for humanity. So that's the irony, right? The work that Aquarius does is for humanity. It's more than just for itself. However, this retrograde slowed down that entire process, where there's that other understanding of like Aquarius could spend too much time in the shadow. It could forget sometimes, and it doesn't really forget because it knows, but it could be stubborn about having to come into the light, about having to show itself. It could be very stubborn.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, it's kind of like, man, fuck that. Like everybody else is already showing their booty. I don't want to show my booty. That's kind of what it's like. You know, it's like everybody else is doing that. I don't want to do that.
Different. I like different.
That's Aquarius, unconventional.
Everything different.
And especially with this 13th degree, that's what I was curious about. This is a degree of Aries. So not only just different, but new. Yes. Creative.
Yes, for sure.
You know, your creations, they have to be new. It's like if they're not fresh, if they're not innovative, okay, if they're not something that nobody else has ever done, you won't be motivated to work.
Wow, to the T.
You won't be motivated to work, and what will happen is you're gonna 12th house. You're gonna hide that light. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because this is Leo. Okay, you have that Leo and Venus, and you have it conjunct your sun. So this is like This is your realizations that probably really kicked off 2 years ago when your mother and basically ascended. Okay, when your mother ascended 2 years ago, these realizations about your light and how basically you're selfless, how you're do anything for family itself, and getting through your own versions of self-righteousness, okay, your own versions of the perceptions you have of the family. As you get through that, that's some of the challenge. But the opportunity now is for you to glow up, not just in private anymore, okay, but to glow up and show it off a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And not just to show it off, right? To show it off because it has some way to use those innovative Aquarian-like actions to work on these new, fresh ideas, but actually to push those ideas out into the world. So Aries, when Aries is inspired, this is the 13th degree I'm talking about right here. When Aries is inspired, it just does the thing. Where it could struggle is it didn't plan it out far enough to realize, is this just a fleeting moment of inspiration? Or do I really want to do this for a little while?
Okay.
So this is important because this is the unconscious, Mars' unconscious actions, okay? You're not consciously aware of what this part of the action is until you bring consciousness to it, until you bring awareness to it. So this is telling me like, you have to basically, when you get inspired to do something, you have to also respect Aquarius here, who says, I need to make a plan. I need to take the time in my shadow space, in my dark space, to make a plan about how I want to work on this new project. But then on the back end, Aquarius needs to also realize that thoughts don't manifest themselves, okay, without this Aries action. So then you got to go back to the Aries part of your action and say, look, Aries, I'm ready. I am mature. Aquarius is mature. I'm mature enough to take action on this daily. And now I need your startup power to push my idea into the world for humanity. They need each other, because if this 13th degree just acts on inspiration, and there's no plan, it won't last. You'll get bored, and you won't work on it daily and put the actual effort in that it takes to physically manifest and fully realize right here the creativity that and the relief of suffering that you can provide the world with your light, your creative light, your light being your creative nature.
Okay. Wow, this is making sense. Oh God, this is awesome.
And I pause for a moment, and I let you sit in that. Let the vibration just let you sit.
Thank you. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Where do you see my love in the chart?
Your love? You want to see your love life?
Yes, I do.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Anybody watching this live, definitely go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button for me if you're enjoying this. Say something in the chat. I won't be able to see your comments very often or very much at all because I'm pretty much.
Oh, I see the chat. I see the chat.
Oh, you do? Yeah, I was not. I'm focused primarily on you, so I'm not.
Yeah, no. Thank you for that, but yeah. Good.
All right, here we go. So you want to go into your love?
Yes. Dive into that, please.
Absolutely. La 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 la. Where's your heart? Okay. So, here's the magic. All right. Let me ask you right now. Do you have a partner?
I'm dating. Yes, I do. Long distance relationship. For now.
Are you cool with the long distance?
Yeah, I'm okay with it for now.
Is he cool with it?
Yeah, he's okay with it.
Are you okay? So I'm hearing okay. Are you excited about it? Is he excited about it?
Of course, we're both excited.
Okay, cool. Just a curiosity. So, so now romance starts in the fifth house. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It begins in the fifth house. It's like houses 1 through 4 is like, okay, I know who I am. I know my worth, my value. I know the skills that I look to explore and learn that makes up my what makes me cool, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I now feel stabilized, and I've took the time to nurture myself and all the things I just said prior.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm ready, fifth house, for a relationship, which is Leo. Leo is linked to the fifth house, but your actual fifth house is Capricorn. Okay. So this tells me that you take a long time to romance.
What do you mean by that?
Huh?
What do you mean by that?
Like you take your time. Like you're not gonna give everything.
Oh, yeah.
On day 1, day 2, day 3,
week
that's
right. Yeah. Yes.
Week 30, 2 years later. It could take a Capricorn like 15 years to romance, like literally,
well,
before it starts to open.
It all depends. To be honest with you, it depends on my partner.
Yep.
So you have to be in on the same length, on the same pattern, on the same. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It depends on both, right? For me, because it takes two, right?
Absolutely. Because the thing is, ready, Capricorn can recognize real with Capricorn.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's real and you recognize that, could it take less time? Absolutely.
Oh, of course.
You're still not going to open up like a flower. You're not going to blossom quickly though. Like, you're still going to take your time. Understanding that taking your time doesn't mean forever and never. I'm not saying
no, definitely not.
But you knowing that it might naturally take you longer to romance than your partner.
Okay, but why is that though?
Because Capricorn is slow.
Okay.
Capricorn requires integrity. All right. And you don't really know how much integrity a person has until you give them time. Capricorn is time. It's literally father time. So it's like, it's not just about integrity, it's about respect. It's about being real, it's about being authentic. So in your romances, if you get those things up front, it doesn't have to, it could take you less time if that person basically proves themselves. But like Capricorn doesn't just like give you they don't just give you the keys to their heart without some sort of recognition.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, look, there has to be a certain eye to eye, there has to be a certain recognition before they begin to open up their flower.
Yes, it has to be something different. Me, I'm all about different.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And when my partner is different, that's where the lock comes in, right? It's the yeah.
Yeah, because mind you now, how you take action, because Mars is your sex life, let's just say, right?
Okay.
And it's your actions. So it's like that's the different piece. That's what that brought me when you said different. This is the Aquarius. It's like, all right, you're willing to take action on things that are different.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes more from that versus this Capricorn piece, because Capricorn doesn't really want different. Capricorn wants mundane. However, that's the entry. But so that's fifth house. Sixth house is where we now actually work on the relationship. Okay. This is the daily habit. So it's like, once you get past that door, the next door says, well, I need to act different. Like literally, I need you to act different. I need you to be unconventional. I need you to basically be able to keep up with the way I'm surprising, the way I'm willing to do some strange things, basically, and not be anywhere close to normal. And I'm like this every day. Like I need to be this way whenever I want. Like literally, like kind of like whenever I want. Like when I want to do something different, I can't have no rebuttal. Literally.
Oh yeah.
There's no rebuttal, because what'll happen is, and this is what you're really good at, whether you recognize it or not. This line, all right, The 6, your actions, okay? Also, in this instance, how you assert yourself, which would be in a relationship, okay? How you daily assert yourself, as well as how you look to improve the relationship. Literally, like you need a progressive relationship. So what you can understand up front is if your relationship is progressive, if you don't have a progressive partner, then you can pretty much let him know that the relationship is going to fail. You need that person to not stay still. I mean, and I don't mean stay still like moving around like a little bug. I mean, like, if they have goals, they need to be progressive.
Oh, yes.
You know
Trust me, he has goals. Yes. Yeah. Definitely. That's him.
It's a requirement. It's a non-negotiable. Yes. So you might as well just write that on your non-negotiable list and say, I would literally write it with a pen and pad and say non-negotiable. I need my partner to be progressive, because without that factor, without that factor, it's not sustainable. Because 6th house is trying to focus on sustainability so that they can show up publicly, okay, with being polished already. It wants to show up polished, right, and adaptable in that romance. Because like I said, this is the maturity. Saturn is maturity. It's father time. Is how much time does it take? And you have this at the 5th degree of romance. So it's literally like what you do and who you date. If they're basically weird, strange, and unconventional with how they're progressive and how they discipline themselves, all right, with some sort of stability, but stability that is, again, from the bottom down, not top down. Because Capricorn is more top down, Aquarius is more bottom up. And it's also a revolutionary. So it's like somebody that's revolutionary with the way they move, act, shift, behave, and don't shift and don't change up on the day-to-day base. You need that. And then what happens in your marriage, okay, on the contractual level, let's say this is marriage on a contractual level, is that allows you to be adaptable and flexible and to mature into having a very fun, creative, and active romantic life for the long term. All right. But that's a very critical step before you get to that long term. Because what happens here in the earlier stage, you know what I'm saying? So in the earlier stages of marriage, what this could do is, because Libra right here, marriage, what this could do in the earlier stage of marriage is say, what is that? What house is that, Libra? What degree are you, Libra? Libra. Okay, yep. Did you get divorced before?
Yep, I'm divorced.
It's right here.
Damn, are you serious? This is crazy.
Yeah, I was right here.
Yeah, my son's father.
Yeah, because this is the young part of the family. Remember I said 4th house is family?
Right.
But I said it started right here. This is the younger. 2 is where it starts. This is with the stability. So you didn't get that stability on those ground levels that you logically knew you needed. Instinctually up front, you knew. I swear to God, you knew. You knew. You knew from the beginning. 11 is rapid lightning change. Okay, it's literally like, it's like, whoop! Did you blink? You missed it. It changed already. You're divorced. Literally, literally. It's like
that's exactly the way it happened.
Yep. And so, what this means to me is like that was helping you with this long-term Gemini maturity thing. Okay, because Gemini is very childish, but it's in Saturn, which is very serious. So it's like there are certain childish behaviors about the contractual level of marriage that were happening in that first romantic life, where it was creating harmony once you went through your divorce, Libra, and Uranus at the 11th degree. When you went through that divorce, it helped you get your shit together and get your own self-worth in check, so that you didn't so that you weren't so passive, okay, and aggressive at the same time. So you weren't so passively aggressive with being nice and, playing like the harmony balance game, even at your own sacrifice. And what that did was that's giving you another harmonious aspect to what, okay, right? Retrogrades, okay? Like you were slowed down in the beginning of your life. You didn't act on this progressive okay, partnership that you needed that guy to be progressive. But that challenge with your first marriage in Gemini was showing that through this divorce right here, Libra, second house and 11th degree, what you needed as you come out of the retrograde birth that you had on your actions, okay, on basically taking action on, I need a progressive man. I need somebody who has goals today, and another one by tomorrow, and another one by the next day, and another one by the next hour. I need him to just keep going. I need him, as soon as he probably got complacent, okay? He probably thought like, all right, you know, Ida's very nice and she's so lovely and, you know, she'll do anything for me. And that was true. But what he didn't recognize, and maybe what you didn't recognize, was because it's unconscious, Mars, that assertion is required in order for you to stay sustainable, to sustainably get to the maturation of a marriage that you wanted to start from.
That is so interesting to the T.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And you know, the peace dealer always talks about this, your superpower.
Yeah.
Yes. What's my superpower? I have a feeling I know what it is, but I want to see if it's in my chart.
All right. Let's search for the superpower. Like I said, what's my superpower? What's my superpower? Okay. Oh crap! What did I do?
Because he talks about that all the time.
For starters, there's a lot of powers that I see. If I'm being honest,
okay.
I can kind of like bullet point them to the best. There's a lot of superpowers. I mean, this natal chart is so expansive. Like, understand too, like, right, like this is literally space. Even though it's in this little simplistic circle, okay, think of this more like a sphere. It's not really like the Earth is not flat, right? So it's like your powers. You have a lot. But I'm gonna try to bullet point some without trying to get lost in any. All right. Number one, you know how to bring light to any situation where great suffering is right there. You know how to bring light to it. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not even just bring light to it. You are the light. You are the light, which means that you attract a lot of darkness, which means that people just, you know what I'm saying? Like people. The thing is, right, when you got a pitch black room, part of your one superpower, you got a pitch black room, if there's a single light, no matter how dim that ember is, no matter how dim that flame is, everything knows where to go. That's the only place they know to go. So one of your power is basically to transmute the dark. You're actually a master of the dark arts, whether you believe it or not. This is one of your superpowers. You literally, I'm going to say this again, you're literally a master of the dark arts, okay? Again, I think your mother was one of the big things, the big critical moments where this probably really hit like like it just got like, that might have been a time when the family started recognizing how much more they needed your light, okay? How much relief and alleviation you were able to bring to the suffering of the family by being optimistic, okay? That Sagittarius here, being optimistic on the family views. So what happened, that tension, okay, could have also kind of really like, could also start to cause problems on the opposite side because, you know, maybe people started to take advantage of that, right? Like they started coming to you knowing what they were going to get in return, but they didn't give something in fair exchange. All right, they didn't create an equivalent energetic exchange, which could have caused different problems. Yeah, that could have caused different problems because when it happened, you realized it because the sun is realizations. So you realized it. You literally knew what was happening, even if they didn't. And this is the trouble with, you know, being a light worker, but one that deals with the dark arts. Every light worker deals with darkness. Okay.
Yeah.
So you transmuted the dark for people. It's one of your greatest powers. And you realize how to do exactly that. However, there's one part of it on the side where you got to be very careful of where you might have got addicted to that. Because Venus is partially overindulgence. Okay, it likes to overindulge. So it's
Mhm.
like that overindulgence in the darkness, in being the one that can be that light for people. Okay, you could have got addicted to the feeling even of and absorbed. Damn, this feels great. Like, you know, this person came to me crying and they left like feeling like $1,000,000.
Mhm.
And you gotta be careful of potentially getting addicted to serving at such a level where, you know, you might sacrifice yourself in certain instances.
Mhm.
But it's definitely a part of the, I see the strength. Okay, it's the strength. It really is the strength. Literally, it's one of your biggest superpowers.
Okay.
So that's one. All right.
Yeah.
Another, your greatest power, okay, is self-improvement. Point blank period. Like, you're progressive. Okay. This is why it's never gonna work if you don't have somebody else that's not progressive, because you are progressive. But you are, like you said, you are progressive more towards yourself. Okay. You want to look at yourself better and better and better every day. So
Always. Yeah.
what's key about this power, because like you said, with great power comes great responsibility, right? It's like, what's key about this particular power is you need to make sure that you can see tangible evidence of your growth.
Yes.
This is how you maintenance this power. If you don't, this is when you become neurotic.
Okay.
If you don't manage gratitude, okay, daily, consistently, about keeping a log, some sort of your program needs to be like some kind of a log of your steps, of your
Always.
evolution. You know what I'm
Always.
saying? Like, however you grew, you need to be able to see it tangibly. You need to be able to like create a model. Like, you know, like having like an agenda where you got stickers and you get to say good job on today because you finished that task. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Without that superpower of self-improvement will become poison. Without that element, without that, your mind could pop.
Yep.
You could literally mentally just exacerbate yourself and your own thoughts and your own mind. You can exacerbate it, and you could try. You'll start doing this. You start trying to improve it, but looking at it too closely, and then you won't be able to realize that you keep improving the same thing that can't be improved anymore. So you'll pop. So you gotta the goals. You being able to see your effort, see your development. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, oh great, I got a 95% on this. I got an A plus, whatever. You need to be able to see it because it links directly to.
I have to see it to believe it.
Exactly. Because it links
That's
to you.
all me. I have to see it to believe it. Action speaks louder than words, you know? That's me.
Yeah.
I think, yes. Oh,
Yeah.
to the T, yes.
Without it, I see not good things. You know? So let me see. Superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the two big ones right there. Definitely. If you have another question, hit me with it.
Yeah, I'm also an empath. So
everybody's an empath.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's
What's
pretty
the question? What's the question?
What question? Another question?
Yeah,
okay.
like, so you say you're an empath. Was there something you want to know about your empathic ability?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Okay.
That should something said in the chart with that, right? Oh, then I have another one.
Okay, whenever I see empath, I first think water signs. Okay.
Yep.
So first one is Jupiter and Scorpio. It's the only planet in the water. But
Yeah,
I also look for Pisces. But when I don't see Pisces up here, what I first then look at is the opposite, which is Virgo. Okay. Where it's like Virgo's intuition is it is godly, but it's like kind of like Hercules god, like a god on earth, you know.
Wow.
Like it is an earth sign, but it's kind of like God on earth, where it doesn't have access to its full intuition, but it can, through its abilities, okay, through its daily efforts, like Hercules being able to lift a rock, it can see, yes, I couldn't do that one time. So it kind of links to part of its understanding. It becomes a part of its grounded intuition. It becomes a part of its like, it's like half God kind of intuition, like motherly. You can consider like a mother, right? Like, and how your mother can be like an oracle almost, where it's like she's a human and she's like an oracle in the sense where, you know, what she said today may not have fully made sense, but 5 years later, you're like, that's what she meant, you know? So some of that empathic ability links to that. But on the flip side, I then know anytime you got Virgo, there is a Pisces somewhere, right? So then I go to here. And what this tells me is your empath ability works best, personal opinion, with one-on-one interactions with other people, okay? One-on-one interaction with other people. This is when you're most intuitive, all right? Because when you're in groups, you're now picking up a lot of energy, and it's very absorbent. It's almost too absorbent, where it's like, all right, I don't know who I'm picking up on. It could become overwhelming. It could become overwhelming.
Oh, yes, trust me. I don't like crowds. I don't like places like that. No.
Yeah. Because Pisces absorbs everything, okay? So in one-on-one instances, you can sustain it, you can maintain it, and you're not gonna run away. In the bigger crowds, you're gonna run away.
Oh yeah.
Because you have this in this big crowds, right? 11th house, you have the Cancer, and Cancer is all about the private life. They like to stay private, and they like to stay local. Okay, so you might be local in the community, you know, being able to show up and pull up, but you ain't really. You rather stay in the house.
Yep, that's me. I'd rather have everybody come to my house.
Yeah, you basically, this is it, right? Because Cancer is the home, all right? And this is the friends, 11th house. So friends in the home, literally. So running and gatherings at home.
Yep.
And this also could say something like potentially being really good with your hands in the house. That could sound super duper perverted, but I more so mean like cooking. Okay, you might be a really phenomenal chef. You might really know how to cook.
I am. And
right?
I bake. I love to bake. I love to cook. I like to do everything organic. I'm an organic person. So yeah, I do everything with my hands. I do everything. I do everything homemade, right? So yeah.
Yeah. And you're definitely gonna know. You're definitely gonna have good vibes about people who are coming in your home. That's a given. You're gonna intuitively just know. You're gonna know, like you're gonna freeze up if you ever get a bad energy. You're literally gonna like freeze, and you're gonna be like, "Uh-oh, warning, what's going on? What's wrong?" And you know, so whenever you freeze, that's a Cancer thing. It's a telltale sign that something's off. That emotionally you don't feel safe, and it's gonna kind of be like search and destroy. This is when you can become real snappy because it's like, all right, I need to get this shit back to safe zone. And this is when the crab can kind of bite.
Right.
But this is again where your empathy lies and your intuition lies as well. In those settings, you're very empathic. You know as well who to invite into the home and who not to. Even if you had to learn those lessons. The other thing is sex. You know, in your sexual encounters, this is when you're very, very, very empathic. Okay, you again kind of like that chameleon light. You'll know exactly. You'll literally know and understand what your soulmates need in order to. You'll know how to satisfy them on a deep emotional and soulful level. You'll know exactly what to do. And this 26 degrees, a degree of like sensuality. So it's literally saying like, literally you understand, because the Pisces is I understand. All right, you understand what it takes to be a sensual partner. Okay, and more so with like soulful encounters, but also you're very empathic when it comes to inheritances, and you understand emotionally everybody involved in the inheritance, everybody involved in the taxes, and you know how to feel what people want when these instances come up with taxes or like in any type of investment. You have a very divine knowing, so
Really?
much so, so much so where you might not trust it.
Oh wow, I didn't know. That's different. I didn't know that part. Wow.
You might not trust it because
Okay.
because a lot of times Pisces can't trust themselves. So and the reason why Pisces can't trust themselves is because if they're not aware, they will absorb any type of energy around them if they're not consciously, you know what I'm saying? So when this happens is, what happens is if there ever is like a threat moment or a feeling of threat, which again, a threat can be simple as you didn't know anything about the taxes, which makes it scary, or you didn't do research on Bitcoin, which makes it scary, right? If you don't know, it's going to be scary, and Pisces will run away.
Okay.
So
right.
With investments, taxes, inheritances, you might have thought to yourself, like, I'm not really that good at that, but it's actually not true. You're actually a monster. This is one of your super abilities. You're a monster at building billionaire wealth in a slow, methodical way, honestly.
Hey.
In a mutable, methodical way. It doesn't have to be slow. Even though Virgo is slow, it's not the slowest thing, I think. I think Taurus is the slowest. You know how to solve problems around money, okay? You literally know how to solve money problems, and you know how to build a plan and actually work towards it for the billionaire wealth. Especially if you can basically stop being the fish, okay, the Pisces, and running away when something scares you, rather than doing, literally, like, rather than doing, like, you would have came across, came across investors in your life. You've come across them, but because you didn't because you tried to make logical sense of it, okay? When Pisces is not logical, it's ethereal, all right?
Right.
Try to make logical sense of it, you would have ran away. It would have scared you, because Virgo wants to make logical sense right here, but Pisces is like, look, I just know this is what I should do. I don't know why I know, but I know. Exactly.
That is so interesting. Oh, wow. This is amazing, 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 amazing. And yeah. Why? Okay, I have a question. Why am I so stubborn?
Because you're a Leo and they're sick. Listen, you realize that you're stubborn, okay? Because the sun is there. You're attached to being stubborn because Venus is there.
Right.
Your actions that you take are in Aquarius, opposite of Leo, which is also stubborn on your daily actions. So every day you're being stubborn, literally. And it's an unconscious factor because Mars is unconscious. So Mars in Aquarius, Mars is like, I'm fixed on what I know. Because Aquarius is I know, and it stays fixed. And it's hard to implement new ideas because sometimes your actions, you'll take the opposite direction on what you know you should do for your work or for whatever you're trying to improve, just because it's different. When sometimes, what works. You don't always have to do different just because it's different. Like, to do it just because, sometimes it's just not a good enough reason. Just because everybody's going that way. Well, it's like, if it's just the right answer, let's just say it's the right answer. Don't let your stubbornness in that instance carry you to do something that sets you back. This is where being born in a retrograde would slow you back. It would literally pull you back from birth, where you had to start basically throughout your life, get over that, because there are certain instances where it's like, you know what, being unconventional is just not helpful. Sometimes being stubborn in those certain instances it's counterproductive.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, it's like you were trying to be so different that you flunked it, and then you can't admit that you flunked it because that would basically say that you didn't know. And to show up like that is way more dangerous, at least what it seems, but it's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because Aquarius deals with a lot of fear, a lot of rejection, okay, a lot of insecurities, but it's very old. It's one of the last couple of zodiacs, so it's almost a shame. Like Leo, they deal with it, but they're very like outwardly and overt about it. Yours is a little different because you have it in 12th house, so it's a little bit not so much outwardly and overt about their insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean they don't exist. And so when you flip it now to Aquarius, it's like it still has a tremendous amount of insecurities, fears, and doubts and worries that are basically just stuck in its head. And because I literally said stuck, is it being a part of a fixed sign, it's stuck in their head. So it's like those thoughts are preventing, aka stubbornness, you working, okay, 6th house, on the long-term progressive plan that basically plays back into you building that money, which is Virgo, all right, in the 2nd house,
Mm-hmm.
which is your Pluto, which is now permanent transformation. That's what it takes for you to get to the permanent transformation in order for you to do what? To start accessing this money spot, 2nd house.
Okay.
And security. So it's like you know how, but your actions are fighting with your stubbornness,
Mm-hmm.
which is holding your sense of self-worth by not allowing certain things to just be let go, to just in certain moments be like, all right, well, this worry, this fear, this doubt, it is plaguing me.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like to just be able to just be like, fuck, like, yeah, I know I hate to admit it, but if I do, more likely than not, people won't even recognize it, and it was just in your head, because it was in your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you'll be able to accept that part and realize, all right, if I change my mind, which I'm good at doing with my actions anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I could basically skip the line, let that stubborn part go, and make the change so fast that no one will even recognize that I had these fears, doubt, and worries in the first place.
Right. Makes sense, yeah.
But the longer you hold on to it, the more they're gonna just witness it.
Oh, of course.
You know, and then when they do, you already went through that in your head and you knew.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're like, oh fuck. And now you begin to overthink it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because now you're judging yourself. Now you're like, I knew it already. Like I knew. But I did what I did anyways.
Interesting. Well, I know my North node isn't it Leo, and my South node is Aquarius? If I'm not mistaken. Or is it the opposite?
I thought I saw a North node in Aquarius, to be honest.
North node Aquarius, yes. And then South is Leo, right?
North node Aquarius, yes.
Yes.
In
Okay.
complete and exact conjunction with your actions, okay? North node and Mars both retrograde. Your destiny and the actions you take towards your destiny slow down from birth.
Okay. But isn't that the future? North node is future, or is it
It's your direction.
my direction? Okay, got it.
It's your direction of where you're going to walk, run, or swim towards your destiny.
Okay.
So that process will slow down. The process of you basically starting new projects with the ideas that you've had. 13th degree, starting new project, Aquarius, with the ideas that you've had, your actions. Right here, the key thing now is basically to don't judge yourself so critically and allow the continuation of the stubbornness linked to fears, worries, and doubts, that people can see you basically in a way that is not an accurate representation.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever reason is retrograde, which you basically decided in your soul contract before you came back into this life, you decided to come back in these retrogrades. Okay. So this is basically karmic lessons that says you knew, hey, I needed this. I need to come back in slow because you had to learn a couple lessons prior in order for you to really honor, okay, Leo, what I really feel like it's what the death of your mother has awakened within you, the light that she woke up within you.
Yes.
That's what I feel. I feel like that was the retrograde. It's like that karmic contract is done. You know, that woke up the light in you and allowed you to start sacrificing your stubbornness, because 12th house is sacrifice, it's surrender. Leo is stubborn, opposite of Aquarius, also stubborn, happening when the mother took her, aka isolation or departure, 12th house. That was the beginning 2 years ago of your stubbornness being released, so that you can basically be more charitable. And how you work with this energy is realize that, like, by you not putting that creative light out there and taking the progressive Aquarian type humanitarian efforts to start these new projects on your day-to-day work, what you're doing is you're holding back the tribe that is either not realized yet because you're not working on it, or that you do realize. You have to almost look at it as charity. Like, how can you be more charitable? It's actually not about you. It's about how can you be more charitable with your creative talents? How can you be more charitable with the fun and the light that you bring into the world?
Right.
That's more of the focus. It's like, and how does not being charitable go against your own honor, your own morals? Because if you can attach to that, then you'll start taking the action.
Okay. It's so
Yeah.
From a chart, you can get all this. Yeah, it's incredible.
It keeps going. It really never ends. I mean,
oh, for sure. I could imagine.
It never ends. I mean, it literally never ends. So I'm gonna tap us out. I'm gonna take some breaths.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Any tension in your teeth, your jaws, just let it go. Light ears to melt. I want you to think about what you need and just put it into the air. Don't focus on the solution. I want you to think about what do you need moving forward, but don't focus on it. Just put it out and let it just go into the ether. Don't focus on any solutions right now. Let me take care of that part. What do you need? Just
amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. So the reason why I asked that is I'm gonna pull you one card.
Oh, awesome.
So I wanted to just have you have that energy kind of go into it. And I'm gonna put the energy of it of what does Ida need to know moving forward from this reading. What does Ida need to know moving forward from this particular reading? The card I have on the bottom says partnership. Not the card I pulled for you, but I know that it's a card that calls for partnership. Oh shit! I think your card just jumped.
Oh, it's a jumper.
Oh my god! So I only saw this card. I saw the partnership card, And I saw one more card, and this is the one that jumped. I shit you not. And it jumped from a weird spot too. This isn't the partnership card, but it was the other card that I saw, but I didn't say anything. And then this is the partner on the bottom, even though this is the fox. All right, so for whatever reason, I didn't have to go too far on that. What this tells me right now is already, before I go any further, it tells me you need an adventure.
Oh yeah.
The turtle is a card of adventure. What it basically says is, it says that you've collected a lot of wisdom. Okay, it says you collected a lot of knowledge throughout your lifespan, and with that wisdom, with that knowledge, it's important to basically understand that now is the time to close the book that you're used to, and to realize that it's time to write your own book, because you've collected so many experiences along your journey, along your path in your lifetime, that made you a great writer, a great creator, a great storyteller, because you have knowledge, you have wisdom through actual action. So the turtle is a card that says what's important now is to recognize that the turtle is a traveling spirit, and it has the ability to be on water and land, one of the fewer cards on the deck. So it has the ability to be intuitive and emotionally inept, but it also has the ability to be grounded in its approach, okay, as it travels and shares its wisdom through writing, creativity, stories, okay? Now, what the card says, if you are, as I find it, where are you, Mr. Toto? I know you're here. Okay. Yeah, it's an ancient soul. It's grounded, it's trusting, and it's at home in the self. Look at that. Your whole reading was self. All right. First house, first house, first house, first house. Virgo rising, self. All right. This card, this helps the earth and the water, bringing those two together. Okay. So let's say, wow. For me, what that says is when we were looking at your second house, Virgo, your eighth house, Pisces. Okay, we talked about the investments, the money, and then the investing and knowing what to know, but then not running when those opportunities come, even though it's scary. You run, don't run. Okay. What it tells me is with those energies simultaneously, it helps you to ground and connect to deeper truths in life. No matter where your travel leads. Turtle energy is behind all great writers, storytellers as they collect life experiences under their shell for later use. The most potent turtle energy helps us close all the other books. Okay, so this is like Virgo first house, always focusing on self-improvement. I feel like now they're telling me like it's time to close all that. And realize that you've improved yourself over the years that you've been on this planet, okay? Half a life cycle. You've done a lot of improvement. This is telling me now it's time to close those books and put those improvements into tangible reality, not just on you, but what you did on yourself out into the world, which is, again, your Aquarius, Mars taking action. You're ready. The retrograde is done for you on that avenue. You're ready to move forward on that stuff. Your retrograde is done on your destiny and the direction you're going in life. You're ready to take those humanitarian efforts and put that shit out in the world. The most potent turtle energy helps us close all other books and begin to tell our own true self, our own first house. Virgo is focused so much on improvement that it won't ever really, think that it's fully ready to put it out because it's always developing.
That's right.
So close the book and start to tell your own true tale. When you're out of balance, again, Virgo, it says you slow down to a halt. This could look like thinking of the same thought over and over and over. You've already thought about it. Did you write it down? Okay, and after that, take action. When you're in balance, you're feeling peaceful, adventurous, and productive, Virgo. Okay? Understand that to not mistake productive for being busy or busy for being productive. Busy is not productive, right? If your mind just stays busy on self-improvement, that doesn't mean necessarily that you're being productive. So ask yourself, Are you doing that as a version of slowing down to a halt, or are you actually being productive? And then to bring this energy into balance, I want you to take an adventure.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Here's the last thing that I pull. I have some astrology dice. All right.
Oh.
And I'm gonna just see what they pull up. Okay, what is gonna support Ida on her journey going forward, this adventure that she's here to take.
That laugh. I know that laugh.
What's going to support your adventure is bringing more balance to the family dynamic, and it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be presented. It's going to present a great reward. It's literally going to pay you back 20-fold, 50-fold, 100-fold by you bringing more harmony into your family dynamic, whatever that means for you. And basically nurture whatever. The question is, what is the most challenging aspect of my family right now when you think about bringing harmony? Whatever that question brings to you is the answer to help you get to your next step.
Okay.
It plays back into that Leo 12th house. Like, look, like they're great. They bring relief to the family. Okay. So it's like, who's probably suffering in the family that can help with basically your judgment. Okay. Your instinctive judgment. Generally, the first answer you have, the instinct about it is exactly going to be the it. Like, don't think any further. You've already thought about the answer. This is the key. Don't think further. You thought about the answer. Now go do that as a form of nurturing, as a form of nourishment. And I know that it will likely be a challenge that might take some time because Saturn is here, okay? Which means time. Yeah. It takes time, and it takes potentially, it takes discipline, but it also takes integrity. All right, it's willing. Saturn is willing to be the bad guy. All right, literally, it's willing to be the bad guy, but it knows that it brings gifts of fruition.
Right.
When the effort is put in, that's the key word. When the effort is put in. So this is my path forward for you as you take that turtle journey.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Anybody else here? I didn't say this earlier, so it's only, I guess, for the people watching on the back end. What I am going to do is, if anybody caught this on the live, you're here at the end, I think you deserve something like this. I'm going to offer natal readings right now for anybody coming in, only from this live. If you send me an email, I'll drop it in the chat, or you can just check my email somewhere in there. I'm going to say half off, and this is just random. It's
awesome.
50% is ridiculous. I'm going to let you know now.
Oh yeah.
And just so you guys don't even, I forget that I can share my screen. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let you know up front, at least what is today?
Today is the 9th.
Okay, so God knows when things change, when my life changes. But as of today, the 9th of August, until I say no, I'm only going February. Shit, sorry.
Your month is in August. Leo season.
So I briefly share my screen. Understand, today, as of today, people are literally booking these at $288. I want this to be understood, and I'm going to offer this at 50% from the 50%. Okay, this is just a flyer that I already had made out. This is 50% of the 50%. So understand that. This is also me, part of my Leo charity. I have a Leo in the 9th house of teaching, so this is part of charity for me. Supporting those who are supporting me, right? Like, whoever's watching this is, I only see 3 people on the live. Whoever watching on replay does, but it's like, this is me supporting who's also supporting my channel, which would mean $144 for anybody that decides. And I'm only going to do this for the first 3 people. After that, honestly, my calendar is way too booked out on every other front anyways. So that's just like a stretch for me already. I'm just going to say that out loud for anybody here. The last announcement I would like to make is our retreat is going down. I had the confirmation with the peace dealer.
Really?
The dates look like June 17th to the 24th. That's not confirmed on the dates, but it's pretty much going to happen then. And this is going to happen in Puerto Escondido, Mexico. So,
and there's no restrictions?
no, Mexico never had a restriction. They never locked down. Like, they never had vaccine mandates. They never
Really?
had. I lived there. I was living in there in the quarantine. I went there because I was in Colombia, and it started to get weird. So I dipped out, and Mexico's wide open. I mean, there's no rules. That shit is Viva la Mexico. I'm pretty proud the day that I have grandchildren. I get to tell them that I survived the global pandemic living buck wild, and
Awesome.
I survived. So
Yeah, no kidding.
yeah. So I thank you all. Just wanted to make that last retreat announcement. Shoot me an email, pernellbobby.zodiac at gmail.com. You'll see that everywhere in the description. You also will see like I'm pretty sure there's a link somewhere. I'm going to put more official information out later. I have a couple of days. Peace Dale and I are going to go live. We're going to mention this a little bit more official. I think the day after Valentine's Day. So this is kind of a really early mention. Just let you know, retreat's coming up, Mexico, June 2022. We're only going to be taking 8 people. This is going to be the cap. And you can imagine that between him and I, 8 people will fill up fast. So I'm just going to throw that out there and say thank you all for joining. I'll see you soon. Ida, I hope that you got plenty of blessings.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Everything you did.
Absolutely. You have my number. Ask questions when you're ready.
Okay. Thank you again.